Hi children, welcome to biology session. In previous video, we had learned about stomach, the mixture and digester. How the stomach is able to digest the food materials we had discussed in detail along with the enzymes. And also next we had discussed about small intestine under the heading travel of food from stomach to small intestine. In there, in small intestine, the food is being broken down into smaller and smaller particles, and also we had discussed that the digestion process completes in the small intestine itself with the help of pancreatic juice, liver and also succus entericus. Right, today we will discuss more details about our digestive tract. We know that here our digestive tract is unique among all internal organs. Why it is unique? Let's see. Here our digestive system is going to expose to a large variety of physico-chemical stimulus in the form of ingested food. That means when we take the food material, that food material is having some chemical stimulus which may affect our body. But our body is not affecting, our digestive tract is not affecting. How it is possible means, in our digestive system, to face that physico-chemical stimulus, as a consequence our digestive system has developed a rich store of coordinated movements with its muscular and also with the neural apparatus. And these are going to ensure the appropriate mixing and propulsion of the contents during the digestion, absorption and also during excretion. Look at the slide. Here the slide is having our digestive tract and also its neural apparatus. Our digestive tract comprises of vast complicated network of neurons. In the slide you can see that clearly. There are different neurons and neurotransmitters are embedded in the walls of our digestive tract. That's why the scientist has been nicknamed this as the second brain. Here in our second brain, the 70% of our immune system is aimed in the gut itself. That means the microbes which are present in the food which we take are going to kill in our digestive system itself. Nearly 70% of immune system is aimed there itself. That's why the scientists they nicknamed as this second brain, technically enteric nervous system. Here the enteric nervous system is having the sheath of neurons. It consisting of nearly 100 millions of neurons which are more than in spinal cord. This enteric nervous system is having nearly 100 millions of neurons. The second brain can also control several gut functions, often independently of the brain. Here we will take one example. Often you might experience that when you feel tense or when you get afraid, often we get loose motions. Why it is happen means, here the enteric nervous system is going to control that gut functions without the involvement of your brain. This is one best example which shows that our enteric nervous system can control all gut functions without the involvement of our brain. We knew that our digestive tract is having 100 billions of neurons. This multitude of neurons enables us to feel the inner world of gut. There, in that inner world of the gut, it can control its own reflexes with the help of the neurotransmitters present in the gut. And this digestive tract is made up of the muscles. These muscular contractions and relaxations move the food, everything down the line, and there onwards the food leaves the small intestine and enters into the large intestine. What happens in large intestine? When food enters into the large intestine, what happens? What moves out of the gut? What are the major pathways? Our body expels the waste. Here our body expels the waste in two major pathways. Here I have mentioned, look at here. Here the waste, especially the salts and liquid waste, that is water is going to expel out of the body in one way. And next, another way is that the undigested food matter is going to expelled in the form of stool. Here, the expulsion of waste via blood through the kidneys and skin etc. means the liver also plays in the main role in the excretion of the waste, the expulsion of waste, that we will discuss in a next moment. So these are the two major pathways through which we will expel the waste material from our body. Look at the slide. Here in this slide we will find the one of the part of our digestive tract, that is large intestine. Here the large intestine measures 1.5 meters and it has three parts. One is ascending colon and descending colon, transverse colon and rectum. Large intestine is also known as colon. What happens when the food enters into the large intestine? Let's see. Here we have to discuss one activity so that you can understand the function of large intestine. We have to collect some tea leaves and also tissue paper. Put that tea leaves in tissue paper and roll them. Keep it away for some time. What do you find? The water content, the tea content present in the tea leaves are going to be reabsorbed by the tissue paper. The same thing happen in our large intestine. Similarly, when the unwanted waste materials, this is known as stools, when these unwanted waste materials reach to the large intestine, where what is happening means the water content present in our food is going to be reabsorbed. Clear? That undigested food are going to be reached to the rectum by the peristaltic movements. We know that peristalsis means the wave-like movements shown by the digestive tract. By these peristaltic movements, that undigested food which is present in the large intestine, where the water has reabsorbed already, that is going to move into the part rectum. This rectum is known as storage tank for fecal matter. What is that fecal matter? Let's learn. The smelly yellowish solid matter present in the large intestine, which is known as stool, or also it is known as human feces, that were stored temporarily in the part rectum, and there onwards it is going to expel out of the body by the process defecation through the anus. What is defecation? Defecation is a process of sending the solid fecal matter out of the body, is known as defecation. What controls the exit of stools out of the body? Do you think the process is involuntary or voluntary? Let's know. Look at the slide. The slide represents the anal sphincters. In the region of anus, the digestive tract is having two anal sphincters. Let's see. Here, two muscular layers are helps in the exit of stools, which were known as sphincters. These sphincters are helpful in opening and closing of the aperture, anal aperture in the digestive canal. Here, the two muscular layers are present in the anal sphincter. One is involuntary in control, which means which is not under our control, but other which is a voluntary in our control, which means it can control by our mind, means it can be controlled by our consciousness. Understood? Two anal sphincters were present in the anus, which are helpful in the sending of the undigested food called stool from out of the body by the process of defecation. Do we have sphincters in any other parts of the digestive tract? Not only in anal part, there are different sphincters present in the digestive tract. First, one sphincters we find in esophagus. The esophageal sphincter, there onwards the cardiac sphincter, the pyloric sphincter, these two sphincters were present in the stomach. There onwards we find the sphincters in the anal region. Here, what is the fate of the digested substances that move into the blood from the intestine. We know that different life processes are involved in the process of digestion. Where does they get energy? From where they are getting the energy to carry on these life processes? We had discussed that the products of digestion are being absorbed by the villus present in the small intestine. There onwards, that products are going to be transported to the cells by the circulatory system. Here one question, what is the fate of digested substances that move into the blood circulation? That transported substances, that absorbed substances are going to be transported to the cells. Let us know about energy liberation. Already we had discussed that in second lesson, respiration, the energy giving system, how does the energy is liberating from the cells, we had discussed in detail. If energy has to be obtained from the food, it has to be oxidized. For this purpose, what happen means the respiration has to go on. During inhalation, the oxygen moves across the walls of alveoli and enters into the blood. From there onwards, that oxygen is going to be transported to the cells. In that cells, it is going to be oxidized. That means that is going to be breaking down in the cells. Clear, children? During respiration, what happens we had discussed. During respiration, we have one intercostal muscles present in the abdominal region, which is going to move upwards and downwards, which means it is showing contractions and relaxation. We know that this diaphragm is in dome shape. Here that intercostal muscles helps to move up, helps to inflate the lungs and deflate the lungs. Clear, children? By this diaphragm movements, our lungs are going to be inflated with the air and also deflating the lungs. Where is the energy stored in the cells? We know that the mitochondria is known as powerhouse of the cells, which is going to produce the energy by the process of cellular respiration and stored in the form of ATP. We know that the full form of ATP is adenosine triphosphate. Here the inorganic phosphate is going to add to the ADP and it convert into ATP. One organic phosphate is going to add to this ADP and the ATP is going to be produced in the cells. Okay? During respiration, we know that we breathe in the air and we breathe out the air. How does this process go on? We know this breathing process is one involuntary process, means which is going on in our body without our consciousness. How it is possible means in our brain there is a part called medulla oblongata, which is the control center for all involuntary actions of our body. And also one more system involved in this regulation, that is autonomous nervous system. The autonomous nervous system is one involuntary system which is helpful to carry out the involuntary actions of our body. By the help of different systems, our body is going to be keep in good condition. Here, to work all these life processes, the energy is needed. How this energy is getting by our body for this all life processes means respiration process. What happen if respiration process were not takes place in our body? There will not be no energy liberation. Finally, our cells were going to fail in the production of energy, and finally the human body is going to be shut down if the energy is not liberated by the process of respiration. Okay, this is what we have learned so far, how the coordination takes place in the life processes. Today's worksheet. What is the technical name of second brain? How many neurons are present in the enteric nervous system? How many sphincters present in anus? Do you think which sphincter is voluntary and which is involuntary? Which process involved in the liberation of energy? What is the full form of ATP? What is the control center of breathing process? Which nervous system control the breathing process? So, in this lesson we had discussed different diagrams. Let us know and let us learn how to draw these diagrams. First of all, let us go with the structure of villus. How to draw this structure of villus? First of all, we know that the villi is made by the epithelial cells. Let us go with the epithelial cells. For this, what we have to do first? First, you made a arc like this and elongate this arc and frame like this. Now, we have to draw the another line along with this, so that we can make the epithelial cells easily. For that, draw one more line adjacent to this. Now go with the lymphatic system. We know that we had discussed about this villi. In this villi, three systems works together, right? Let us go with the lymphatic system. Draw a lymph duct Now let us go with the circulatory system. We are going to draw now the arteries. We know that arteries carry the oxygenated blood, right? And also we know that these arteries were the ducts. These are the closed tubes. So that we are drawing two lines. Draw one line over the lymph duct like this and stop over there. Now take the second line. While drawing this second line, you will give some gaps and continue the same line by leaving some gaps. We know that arteries ends with capillaries. So here these gaps we are joining with the capillaries, and also we know that veins starts with capillary starts with veins. So for that purpose we are giving gaps here. Okay, artery is completed. Now let us draw the vein. We know that veins were in blue color. Okay. Draw one line over the lacteal. These veins were also ducts. So these are closed tubes. For that we are drawing two lines here. And we know that arteries ends with capillaries, veins start with capillaries. So here I am drawing that capillaries, and these capillaries were single cell thickness. Capillaries were in single cell thickness. So join these gaps with these arteries, and in the joining region we find the capillaries. Continue same as like arteries, join to this line. Okay. Next, let's draw the capillaries. Here already the diagram was very small, so that it is impossible to mention clearly the capillary structure. Just you please join the arteries with veins. Let's label the diagram. Before labeling, first of all, let us draw the epithelial cells. We know that the villus is made with single layered epithelial cells. Single layer epithelial cells, let us draw. You just go through with this box, the elongated line we had drawn in the beginning, and made some horizontal lines like this. While drawing the diagrams, we need patience. So, slowly we have to make these horizontal boxes over the villus, and we are telling that these are epithelial cells. We had already learned that the cells were composed with different parts, right? Here, instead of drawing all those parts, just we are mentioning the nucleus, the center round dotted like structure present in the cell, that is known as nucleus, which were discovered by Robert Brown. We have learned in 8th class. So, let us draw that nucleus. Just you draw one point, the round dotted points in these epithelial cells. We have already learned that the villi helps in absorbing the nutrients, and where do we find this villi? In small intestine. On walls of small intestine, we find the number of numerous finger-like projections. These finger-like projections were called as villus, which helps in absorbing the products of digestion. Let us label the parts. Epithelial cells and these are lacteal duct, lymph duct. Next, let us label the part, and these were artery, and this is vein, and this joining structure at arteries and veins, they were joined in this place. These were the capillaries. Capillary. Okay, this is the way to draw the clear cut structure of villus in the easy steps. Clear, children? One more time, let us see the steps. First of all, you have to make the outline of the villus, then go through with the simultaneous line adjacent to that. Then next draw the lymph duct, okay, and this is also duct, that's why here we have to make one more line, okay. Next go with arteries and veins. Let's know one more important diagram in this lesson, that is peristaltic movements in esophagus. How to draw this diagram? Let's learn step by step. First of all, before going to make this, first let us give a shape to our face, nose and lips, then chin, draw like this. Next, draw the tongue. Opposite to the tongue, we have the palate, the hard portion in a oral cavity, that is palate. Draw the palate like this. Then draw the tongue, the muscular organ which is helpful in chewing the food and also swallow the food, the organ is helpful here. We know that the chewed food is pushed into the next part of the digestive tract, that is pharynx. Pharynx is a common passage for digestive tract and respiratory tract. There onwards we find the beginning of two passages. So, let us draw that two passages like this. We have to draw one line, one V-shaped, inverted V-shaped arc like this. Okay. Why? Because two pathways starts from this pharynx. Okay. And this pathway is a respiratory pathway, and this is digestive tract. Here onwards the digestive tract starts, means the esophagus, the part esophagus starts. Here the esophagus is having the esophageal sphincters, and we know that the esophagus made by the inner circular muscles and outer longitudinal muscles. So, let us draw that. The esophagus shows the wave-like movements, shown by the esophagus known as peristalsis, right. Let us draw them, that wave-like movements, that constrictions and relaxations we are showing clearly here. Okay, children. And we are discussing that it is a muscular part. So, that we are drawing one more line over it like this. And this esophagus is going to opens, the next part of the esophagus is next part of the digestive system, that is stomach. Here onwards and we know that the next part of the stomach is duodenum. Okay, children. In this way we have to draw the peristaltic movements easily, step by step. Okay. Let us label the parts. Before going to label the parts, you shade this so that it can appear very clear in this way. Next, let us draw the bolus. The bolus made in the oral cavity by the mastication process, where the carbohydrates are digested partially, we know that. Draw the bolus like this. And we know that here one sphincter present, that is cardiac sphincter. The upper part of the stomach is called cardiac stomach, and the lower part is known as pyloric stomach, right. So, here what happens means the food will enter, the bolus will enter into the stomach through this pathway, and the stomach also the muscular organ which is made by the muscles. Here we find the cardiac sphincter, pyloric sphincter, and here the cardiac sphincter is present. Then the food bolus enters into the stomach through this sphincter. Let us label the parts. esophageal sphincter, constricted muscle, here we can find the relaxed muscle, and this is the bolus. Next, stomach. Okay, these are the steps. By this we can draw the peristaltic movements easily in this diagram. The one more part, this flap like valve is known as epiglottis. Already we had discussed about the function of epiglottis in previous classes, and this is the esophagus, and here the another pathway which is made with the C-shaped cartilages, windpipe, which is also known as trachea. So, in this video, so far we have learned that about the enteric nervous system and also how it functions in our body, how it brings in coordination with other systems, and also we have discussed the expulsion of waste, and we have learned two different diagrams present in this coordination.